Hello and welcome to part 3 of Towers Hill, the bunkers. This is part 3A with B, C and D to follow. Look at the maps to see which bunkers are featured in each vlog. This vlog is bunkers 1 to 7. These vlogs feature the 30 concrete bunkers which were used to store many kinds of ordnance. The ordnance range from bullets for pistols, rifles and machine guns, to mortars, cannon projectiles, small and large bombs to be dropped by aircraft and torpedoes. Well, here we are at bunker number 3 that I've given the title to. It's just off the road and it's nestled down in the scrubs. Well, that's the doorway to the bunker and a window on each side. The stacked up rock wall here, and there's another one over there. Those rock walls were blast direction walls. In this immediate vicinity, we'll find it shortly, is another bunker. And these walls, they were established in order to prevent any explosion in that building from being directed directly at another bunker in the near vicinity and possibly begin a chain reaction. Here we are, we're a bit closer. We've climbed up between the two blast walls. And there's one. Moving into the bunker, we can see, aside from the echo, it's in pretty poor condition. This is normal. The bunkers were designed to last 2 or 3 years, or the duration of the war, or whatever. It's not known what particular form of ammunition was stored in here, but we'll go into the ammunition side of it a bit later on. Here we are on top of the bunker. Well, I'm not actually on top of it, I'm up level with it. That's the roof line there. Bit of the old bitumen left that was spread on top to make them waterproof. There's a bit of folklore story running around that all these bunkers had all the mining detritus stacked on the roof. So when the Japanese flew over, they wouldn't be able to detect the fact that they were bunkers. Well, that's not exactly true. There is one bunker right down by the main entrance gate that does have mining detritus on the roof, but it's the only one that shows any evidence whatsoever of there being such activity carried on. Well, I'm standing on top of a old mine workings here. We'll have a look around in a moment, but we can see the area is nice and flat, and it's obviously been bulldozed flat because these fellas were never that way inclined back around the turn of the 19th and 20th century. Right next to me here is the old mine shaft which has been filled in. There we go, we're looking at the old mine shaft there now. It's not all that big, but big enough. Up there on that rise tree in front of me, nice green one, lots of mining detritus around it. That was another mine in the area. Actually there were 3 or 4 of them in this immediate area. And I think through the hills over there, through the jungle-like scrub, I think I can see the other bunker I'm looking for. This is one area I was looking for. It's an old track. It comes in from the roadway, which can just barely be seen over there, just below the horizon. You'll see the top of a power pole. The road's just below it. This truck was built in through here. Here we go, it's in front of me. There it goes. It was built in either to serve this mine here on my left, the one we just looked at, what seems to be another mine right down the end there on the skyline, and other workings up in there that looks like the top of an old shaft just there. There we go, we're looking up the hill now. There's the skyline, some forky trees, and directly down from the top of the hill you can see a big pile of rocks and stones that have been deliberately set up. To the right of that slightly is another set. And here is the remains of yet another old shaft. These shafts weren't particularly deep. I found one that hadn't been filled in. I'm keeping an eye out for it now. You certainly wouldn't want to back up to it. It's a long way down. Directly in front of me down there, this side, or on the level with the road, is the bunker I mentioned that had the mining detritus poured on top. And here, lads and lassies, is the side of another old mine. And just over through the scrub there, you'll just make out another trackway that's been built up on this side. Heaven only knows where it went around the side of the hill. And lo and behold, there's the mine I was looking at. We won't go too close. I did check it a few weeks ago. It appears to be around 35 metres deep. If you get down into that, there ain't no way knowing you're going to get out. Follow the flies. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm not going to go any closer than this. I'm about 120 centimetres back from the star picket immediately in front. As you can see by the wall of the shaft, it's very loose, crumbly stuff, and it could give way at any time for whatever reason. Around here, of course, is the detritus from it. And down there, can't see it from here, but just down there is Mosman Street. There, ladies and gentlemen, is the old road track built in by somebody way back when. Heaven only knows where it goes to when it gets down there. I've been climbing up a 1-in-1 grade here, and I'm a bit puffed. But it's as high as I want to go. I just wanted to get some video of that made up road. Down through there, all downhill. But we won't do a Casey Jones. We'll just take it nice and steady. I believe the other bunker I'm looking for is just down in there somewhere. Sometimes on these hills, this still doesn't give a good indication of how steep it is, but I'm holding the camera perfectly perpendicular. You can see sort of how steep the slope is. And on these loose rocks, it's sometimes also a lot easier to sit down on your backside. There you go. That's me sitting down on the job. And it's very much easier to bounce down, and I will hear some 2 metres or so until I get some firm footing underneath me. Oh dear, if I do this for fun, what would I do for a job? Here we are going down the hill. This is a 1-on-1 grade. It's quite slippery rock. The ground is wet from a bit of rain last night, so we're just taking little sideways baby steps. Takes a bit longer, but hey, here I am down the bottom, safe and sound. Well, nearly. That was a bit of a slip. There's the other bunker we were looking at. There's the road through the trees. It's actually Blackjack Road from about here. We'll get rid of some more of this stuff. Look at that, he said. That's the best $2.99 I ever spent. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The mortal remains of Wally the Wallaby. Heaven only knows what shortened his life. Could have been anything. Could have broken a leg. Snake could have got him. Anything. But whatever it was, this is his last resting place. And that tells me I'm not real far from the bunker I'm looking for. And there, ladies and gentlemen, hiding in the scrub is the bunker I'm looking for. It's about 4 metres from Wally the Wallaby. We're down on a relatively flat area. Go up a bit there. And we'll go over there later and have a bit of a look. But here I'm in a cleared patch. We'll look around. And there it is, the roof of the bunker we were at a little while ago. Oh look, there on the roof. You probably can't see it. Wally the Wallaby's mate, equally as dead. Yeah. This is more of the sideways growing bush that I've got to try and get through. I'll get out the secateurs in a moment and that'll be the end of it. And scattered around this opening, the remains of more of Wally's mates. There's one bloke, lost his head. The rest of him's down in there somewhere. And here we are in the doorway of the bunker. This one has been easy to get at times. One can see over there the results of green can dreaming. That's a bit of an in-house one. I'll get hung up by the toenails if I try and explain that one. But real Aussies know what it means. This was the 2-chamber bunker, and again whatever was stored in here, not known. Got to have ventilation when you store old style ammunition. It lets off some really terrible gases, and those gases have to be got rid of. So they just had some rough louvers. Oops, there we go, up a bit higher. Look, there you go. And if we go to the other side, there's some more. As I said, these bunkers were designed simply to last the life of the war. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've covered the area I wanted to look at. I will later on, not today, but I will later on bring the quadcopter up here and give you some aerial views of the place. But just in closing, I will say that if ever you're wandering around the tropical north of Australia through the scrub, such as you've just seen me, be very careful about hanging on to dead timber, such as this one. There it goes. That's another one of those sideways growing things. They are rotten, brittle, and down there where you see them leaving the clustered stump, they'll just simply break away. So when you grab hold of one, put a bit of weight on it thinking it's going to steady you or keep you upright, whatever, you'll find that you're careering down the hill in a most ungainly manner with a lump of wood in your hand. Not a pleasant experience. Don't ask me how I know that. One more long shot. There it is. You can just see the roof of it. That's the bunker we're heading for. We've got a reasonably good stroll down through there. It's not as bad as it looks from here. And we'll go down there and we'll follow the fence along and back out to the ute parked in the car park. The numbers herein associated with all bunkers is not in any way official. It is a number I have given to associate a bunker with a GPS location and a yellow pushpin on the map. These logs feature the 30 concrete bunkers, which were used to store many kinds of ordnance. The ordnance ranged from bullets for pistols, rifles and machine guns, to mortars, cannon projectiles, small and large bombs to be dropped by aircraft, and torpedoes. The bunkers were of two standard patterns. The smaller bunkers of 1 to 2 rooms were about 4 metres square. The larger single room bunkers were about 4 by 10 metres. Most had a roof height of around 3.5 metres, with some notably higher. Each end wall had small ventilation louvers just below the roof. The door and windows were on one side and had blast containment walls to direct any blast from the bunker away from other bunkers in the vicinity. The bunkers were built next to or very near old mine sites. This was to supply plenty of suitable sized rocks and mound up the 3 windowless sides, and to supply rock for the blast walls. And despite popular local belief, and with the exception of one bunker, there is no evidence whatsoever of bunkers having their rooftop section covered in rocks. Old mining tracks were used on the hillsides. The military widened some of the tracks on the hills. In the area used for the bunkers, there were many mines. The open mine shafts were a real worry, as they were often unmarked and covered with dense shrubs. Here's a small shaft that you can see. Currently, a program of capping the many shafts open whole is well underway, but there are still a few shafts waiting for the unwary, usually kangaroos and wallabies. The newly capped shafts shown as white squares. When it was in use during the war as a bunker, it wasn't that nice cream brick building. That's a very much later addition. It was simply a hole in the side of the hill. and inside that hole was stored large quantities of very big weaponry, bombs and all manner of stuff.
Here's a photograph taken during the war, and it shows what some of the ordnance was that was stacked in that tunnel. Thanks for watching, and part B will be available within the next week or two. Look out for it. Don't forget to ring the bell on the subscription thing and you'll get told all about it.